Oh yeah, that's right. Your favorite white guy has finally made it into the big leagues. Recently, me and a ton of other FNaF creators were invited to a huge charity event hosted by both David Barron and Postra, titled 5 Gens at Freddy's. To coincide with the recently released Five Nights at Freddy's chapter of Dead by Daylight, 40 FNaF creators gathered together to participate in a large tournament for the game, in order to raise money for the Crisis text line. After receiving my beautiful invite, I joined the large ensemble of creators for the event, and was shoved into my very own team, titled The Purple Guys. On this team we had 5 people, including myself, Backseat, who is known for breaking a multitude of indie horror games, EazySpeezy, a well-known speedrunner with over 3 million subscribers, UniqueGeese, the creator of a little niche indie horror game you've probably never heard of called Indigo Park, and Damien Lee, a voice actor who's done work for many different YouTube channels such as Pymations. Now, I probably know what you're thinking. This is supposed to be a FNaF Creator event. Why is Damien Lee here? It only took me until after the event for Damien to tell me he has never actually played a FNaF game or watched a Let's Play of it. He just asked to be invited because he thought it'd be really funny. But even with this ragtag group, we were determined to try and win the entire thing. And if we won, we were gonna party till we're purple. How the tournament worked is that one player on your team would play as the killer, who Damien volunteered for, deciding to go as the newly released Springtrap, and the rest would play as the survivors. During each round of the tournament, there would be 2 games. One where it was your survivors versus the opposing team's killer, and the other being your killer versus the opposing team's survivors. The survivors would obtain points for completing generators and escaping the trial. The killers got points for every hook stage they got, and at the end of both rounds, whoever's team got the most points would win the match. Also, every single game would be taking place on the newly released Freddy Fazbear's Pizza map, just to keep in line with the event's theme. I'll be honest though, our odds at winning this tournament were not incredibly high. I know a large amount of people were hyping up my team, but before the event, Backseat stated he maybe had like 90 minutes on DBD and told us he doesn't really play multiplayer games, and we never got into VC with EazySpeezy until the day of the event, in which he told us, "Oh yeah, I've never played against Springtrap before." EazySpeezy, it is a FNaF themed event! We are gonna have to play against Springtrap almost every single match! EazySpeezy quickly remedied this blunder though, because when we were in the tournament, I made a comment about FNaF World being the weird one in the series, and EazySpeezy decided to respond with,
"Nah, World's goated."
Proceeding to tell EazySpeezy that he knew ball after saying that will probably be in the top 10 moments of my life forever. One sentence is all it took for that man to win me over. On another note, before the event, I also decided to play a few games of Killer in order to get comfortable with the role. So I decided on playing a killer who uses their crows to attack people, and can excel at trapping people inside the basement. Of course, I'm talking about none other than the neighbor from Hello Neighbor. The artist. I was practicing my artist. I did this just in case Damien couldn't show up to the event for some reason and I'd have to sub in for him as killer. But that never happened!
Foreshadowing is a narrative device in which...
Hey, I may have forgotten to put a like and subscribe plug in the script, so while this beautiful day one screen pops up, why don't you like the video and subscribe for me? Look, even the neighbor wants you to do it. And no, I will never get tired of using this green screen. The day of the event befell upon us, and my nerves were oh so bad. Because I was the most experienced player for the survivor side of my team, a lot of the pressure kind of fell on me to guide my team and teach them how to improve their gameplay. We did do a bit of practice beforehand, and I was able to help my team with general game knowledge and perk selection, but I learned that we really struggled with staying alive for a long time. People like Backseat and Speezy weren't great in chase with the killer, so I decided to try and pivot my strategy to help them out. I decided that while other members of my team could work on the generators, I would be more focused on saving people if they got hooked. I'd be running perks like We'll Make It and Resurgence alongside a medkit in order to keep everyone healthy. Finally, if I was in chase with the killer, I'd try and waste their time for as long as possible in order for my team to get those gens done and escape. It wasn't a perfect strategy, but it was something. Oh yeah, and because we're gonna have to play against lots of Springtraps in the tourney, and he has the ability to use different doors to travel throughout the map, I had to make sure everybody on my team knew about them.
Does he know about the DO, Ari? Huh? The door?
Afterwards, David, Baron, and Postra started up the stream, and we had to play in the first match of the day. Because our team were the purple guys, we all donned purple outfits to go with our theming. I know some people may be mad because I'm a purple gal and not a purple guy like everyone else, but I wanted to slay in more ways than one. Anyways, we were firstly up against the Midnight Murderists, who consisted of Dan Seibert, one of the OG Game Theory editors, Dapper Mr. Tom, the new host of Game Theory, Dako, Ash from GT Live, and Rytoast. I wasn't super nervous going into this match. It's not like I've been watching Game Theory since 2014 and this is a dream come true. No, I wasn't nervous to play against them at all! We all readied up against the Midnight Murderous Killer, Rytoast on Glitchtrap, and went into our first match of the tournament. We got into our match and immediately got to working on some generators. We were all making some decent progress, and although EazySpeezy got hooked pretty early, we were able to get the save and heal him up. It wasn't until we were just about to complete our first generator that the horrors really set in.
Okay. We're right in the middle of
You
threat.
guys,
He's got Merciless Storm.
God.
Hearing UniqueGeese utter the phrase, "he's got Merciless Storm," was enough to make my heart completely stop for a moment. For those who are unaware, Merciless Storm is a killer perk that causes you to have to perform many skill checks in a row when a generator is about to be completed. And if you miss one, the generator becomes blocked. Now, if you're experienced with the game, this perk really isn't hard to deal with. Except a good chunk of my team really wasn't. I truly thought this already spelled doom for our team, but due to our team's excellent communication and reminding everyone to watch for the perk, we ended up finishing almost all of our generators in spite of that. We only had one left to do, although everyone on my team minus myself were on death hook, so if they got hooked again, they'd be dead. Thankfully, I ended up getting chased by Glitchtrap and led him all the way to the other side of the map from where our last generator was. And due to a decent chase I gave, I was able to give Geese and Backseat enough time to finish the generator. My chase strategy actually ended up working. And alongside some great generator work from my fellow survivors, we were able to get both Backseat and Speezy out, giving us a 12 to 10 point advantage. All that was left was for Damien to play killer. And in his words,
he was out for Theorist blood.
And Theorist blood he got, because Damien ended up playing a great killer round, having us win our match with a score of 21 to 17. We cheered for Damien as soon as he hopped back in call with us, and we were all feeling pretty swell. This win put us in a really good spot, because if we won our next match, we would skip out on the losers bracket of Day 2 entirely, getting a free pass to Day 3 of the event. But more importantly, the mythical free Monday. The prospect of having a free day to not play Dead by Daylight invigorated us all, and we were gonna give it our all against the last team we had to play against, Team 6am. This team featured the likes of I Am Reese, Jerikai Games, Sir55, SSJ Josiah, and Vonnie as the team's killer. We ended up playing killer first, and Damien ended up having a really good game at the start. While Damien ended up getting some early hooks when the match began, I think the nerves started to get to him, which caused him to make some big mistakes and allowed Reese to both complete the last two generators and escape, tying the game up exactly 10 to 10. We still cheered for him when he hopped back in call though, as all we had to do now is lock in on the survivor side. Just as long as we scored more points than Vonnie's Springtrap, we could win it for the team and—
Huh? What do you mean he's not playing Springtrap?
Who the f is the Houndmaster? The Houndmaster is one of the most recent killers added to Dead by Daylight. And because I only really played the game around 2022 to 2023, I have no clue how she works. Now, Vonnie was originally going to play Oni as his killer, someone I know how to deal with, but due to a last-second swap, I did not learn he was playing Houndmaster until the day of the event. For those who are unaware, the Houndmaster essentially works like two characters in one. She commands a dog that searches the map for survivors, and she can also send it forward to grab people. Combined with her high placement on the tier list, confusing nature of dealing with two characters at once for new players, and my complete inexperience, I wasn't truly sure how to guide my team. When we got into the match, our demise was spelled out for us pretty soon, as by the time we had only popped the first generator, all four of us had at least one hook state, and Geese had just gotten his second. However, halfway into the match, I ended up holding a pretty decent chase. I bonked Houndmaster on the head with a pallet and played really patiently around it in order to buy my team some time. I ended up moving to behind this wall to try and watch where she would approach me from and move accordingly. Except Dead by Daylight had other plans.
Oh, very nice patience from Dapper. Very nice patience. That was beautiful. Oh, yeah. What? Wait, how did that work?
I don't even want to know what just happened there.
What even happened there?
Even though I was playing this chase perfectly, the Houndmaster sent out her dog, and it ended up grabbing me through the wall! Even when this happened live on stream, both David and Postra were completely astounded about how this even happened! Now, as shocked as I was in the moment when this happened, I really should have seen it coming. I've come to coin a term called the Cursed Waffle.
Ooh, very scary.
Because I've learned that when I'm featured in a piece of content that isn't my own, no matter how intelligently I play, I will always lose to factors out of my control. A good example of this would be Jerikai's FNaF World Guess Who video I was featured in which I proceeded to lose a coin flip 3 times in a row, which forced me to go second instead of first, and then went on to lose purely because my opponent hit a 1 in 11 chance to guess my character when I was about to win. No matter how well I play, I will lose. Which I don't think my team really enjoys me having as a curse. Anyways, we ended up losing our Houndmaster game due to our inexperience and this glitch, which sent us into the losers bracket of day 2. And with that, our games had finished for the day. We watched the rest of the teams compete on day 1, including Astral Spiff's team, Top Shelf. This team quickly became my immediate favorite, purely because one of the players on the team, Mr. Wigglesworth, was playing on this. If we don't win this tournament, my god do I hope they do. It would be really, really funny. But all we can do now is catch some Z's and move on to our Not Free Monday. With revenge set in our hearts after getting a Not Free Monday, me and my team were determined to climb out of this loser's bracket. We should be doing a YouTuber's favorite pastime of sleeping in right now. Not playing Dead by Daylight. Due to our placement in the bracket, we were gonna have to fight whoever won the match of Fazbear Foxy versus Bad Cupcakes. Fazbear Foxy ended up winning 25-15, which meant we were gonna have to face them next. Their team included the likes of Glamrock Dusky, White, Ashers who had to sub in for Quinamon, Supas, and the Blue Guy. So, with us having to play Killer first, we sent Damien in to play Springtrap and... What? Guys, where the f*** is Damien? TheDapperWaffle, Sorry, I forgot he was British. TheDapperWaffle, I haven't a clue where his particular location is at this point in time. So, it turns out, Damien actually is doing his favorite YouTuber pastime of sleeping in, and we have no killer. Oh dear god, our match goes live in 5 minutes. We are so unbelievably f***ed. With no Damien Lee in sight and us having to do our match right at this moment, I was now suddenly forced into having to play both Survivor for my team and Killer. Even though my nerves were absolutely through the roof right now, my team was relying on me, so I had to step up to the plate and play my non-warmed-up artist for the match. However, because I still wanted to slay in more ways than one, even though I'm not playing Survivor right now, I ended up purchasing a purple skin for the artist to rep my purple guy pride. With the skin ready and my perk selected, I made my way into my first killer game of the tournament. Now, the artist is probably one of the weirdest killers I could have picked for this tournament. Although she's pretty strong, she's currently within the top 5 least played killers, at only a 0.87% pick rate at the time of writing this. Although a lot of the perks you unlock by playing her are strong, her abilities require you to have a pretty big noggin to use effectively. Essentially, the artist can summon up to 3 angry birds at a time and launch them across the map. And if you get hit by them, you'll be harassed by birds and will need to shoo them away. The real fun, though, comes within the bird's melee range, marked by this cylinder after placing them. If you launch a bird and a survivor gets hit within this area, they won't be swarmed by birds and will instead take a nasty hit. Due to the bird's melee range, when the match began, I was able to down one of Fazbear Foxy's players with an incredibly smart play. I found Supas when the match started, got a hit inside of the main building, and chased him towards a loop. From there, I set up a bird at the loop's exit, walked in such a way to scare him towards my bird, and when the time was right, I pushed my big red button, yelled the phrase, "Bye, my pretties," and when it was all said and done...
This is... Ooh.
Oh!
Very nice
That
hit
was
with the
such-
birds.
That was such a fantastic play.
I got it down from across the loop. Because of the perks I was running in the tournament, this snowballed into me dominating this match. I was running a perk called Barbecue and Chili, which after getting a hook, highlights where people are if they're far enough away. This allows me to know where exactly to send my birds in order to harass the survivors. And if one of the survivors got hit by birds while working on a generator, they would most likely panic, let go of whatever generator they were working on, and then my one slowdown perk, Dead Man's Switch, would activate, rendering their generator blocked and unable to be repaired for almost an entire minute. Overall, I am incredibly proud of how well I played this game. I don't want to meat ride myself too much, but I was doing so well that I was not only sniping people with my birds from across the map, but doing so while they were running around.
Oh my god, that hit me?
Doing it while they're standing still, like if they're on a generator or healing, is pretty easy, but doing so on a moving target is a whole other ballpark. In conclusion, while I did get trolled by Glamrock Dusky with their head-on perk, stunning me at a locker... Did you get on a locker? You meanie! I was able to secure a 4K before all the generators could be completed, giving my team the point advantage of 12-8, our best killer performance so far. Having my team provide me with my very own Squid Game cheer gift felt incredible, and I even got my very own interview after the match just for little ol' me. However, even though we had the point lead, we still needed to close it out on the survivor's end. And to be honest, it ended up being a lot closer than it really should've. Fazbear Foxy's killer player, the blue guy, ended up hitting some nasty axe throws on me, even though I was trying to duck under them. And I ended up going towards a really bad loop and couldn't make it out no matter how safe I played it. EazySpeezy ended up dying pretty early, and by the time Backseat was being carried away towards his final hook, it was up to me and UniqueGeese to somehow get the last 3 generators done. Because I had such a good killer game, all we needed to do was complete these generators and we'll have won points-wise, even if nobody makes it out. Geese ended up popping one pretty quickly though, and Backseat guided me towards one he was working on earlier in order to get a second done soon after. All we needed now was one more generator completed and we'll have won the game. It was then when me and Geese hatched an incredible plan. Because he was working on a generator and told me where it was, I ran to the middle of the map trying to get the killer to find me. If they did, I would lead them to the top left of Freddy's, the complete opposite side of the map, in order to give Geese enough time to pop his gen. This really didn't go according to plan though, as Geese ended up getting found instead of me. But, because of our great communication, we ended up swapping roles as Geese now turned into the bait luring glitch trap away, while I immediately snuck towards his generator. And so, when the tournament stream saw Geese get downed, they checked to see what I was up to, only for them to find me completing the winning generator for our team, giving us a total score of 22-20. Hook, line, and sinker. Now, even though we already won, I wanted to try and find the hatch, which spawns if there is only one person left alive, and would allow me to escape much easier compared to opening the exit doors. Since Geese was on hook, I told him to fail his skill checks and intentionally cause himself to die so I could find it. In a way, I really did tell the creator of Indigo Park to go kill himself, and he was all for it. Put yourself on hook, do it! Do it!
Myself! W, baby!
Unfortunately, though, the cursed waffle was in full swing, as even though I traversed through the entire map, I could not find it! I literally did a full loop and it was nowhere to be found. I'm telling you, man, the cursed waffle is a real thing. Still, even with an MIA Damien and my abysmal luck, we were just barely able to squeak out a win and make it to the Day 2 finals to try and climb out of losers. Although, we didn't seem too thrilled.
More DBD for you guys!
Yay!
Yeah.
That might have been the most saddened yay I've ever heard.
Although this tourney has been incredibly fun and the members of my team have all been amazing, it really has been super stressful for me scrambling to help both the survivor and killer sides. Just having a day off from the event would have really been nice. On another note, the one team that we did beat day 1, the Midnight Murderists, ended up playing against the Toy Chicas in the losers bracket, and they didn't fare too well. As soon as this match was over though, David Barron's stream kept going down for like 20 minutes straight, and we all came to the conclusion that the cause was none other than Dawko himself crashing the stream in a fit of uncontained British rage after losing. Dawko and the rest of the Murderists did shout out that they wanted our team to win it all though, so that was pretty sweet. Anyways, after 3 hours of waiting, it was decided that we would have to play against the Toy Chicas in the Day 2 finals. And thankfully, Damien had finally awoken from his slumber in time to play against them. We just need to win one more game. One more game. game. With Damien up to play killer first, it was up to him to get us some points on the board to climb out of losers once and for all. Watching Damien Lee play killer against the Toy Chicas has to be the hardest thing I've ever had to sit through. I remember watching Damien screen share while he was in the match, and while I was muted, I was screaming into my mic at almost every decision he made. The entire game, Damien was chasing survivors and getting hits, sure, but he would leave before actually getting it down and hooking anyone, meaning he was scoring absolutely no points. With nobody needing to be saved on the hook, the survivors could do the generators nearly uninterrupted, which caused generator after generator after generator to be popped. By the time the survivors had powered on all the generators, Damien Lee had only scored a single point for our team. And when the game had reached its conclusion, the full score had been decided. The Toy Chicas had scored 13 points, and the purple guys only 4. For the first time, our killer player had joined back in VC, and there was no cheer. We all basically knew we were gonna lose this game no matter what our survivor side did at this point. Because of how large the point gap was, in order to win, our survivor side could only be hooked a maximum of 3 times, which means at least one teammate could never be hooked. There was no coming back from this. We were gonna lose and be knocked out of the tournament for good. Except, after we had accepted defeat, we realized this may have been the best possible outcome for us all. You see, the whole reason we've been fighting so hard in this tournament has all revolved around the free Monday. We wanted to make it through day 1 without losing so we could take the Monday off and not play Dead by Daylight, and when that didn't happen, we were incredibly bummed out. Except, we had been so focused on the free Monday that we had completely forgotten if we lost before day 3, we wouldn't be in the tournament anymore. We may not have gotten a free Monday, but if we lost, we'd have
A free Tuesday.
the other teams would have to play even more Dead by Daylight tomorrow, and we'd have a day off.
Alright, Purple guys, we fought long and hard for this day. We're gonna lose this game in the most spectacular way possible, and we're gonna get a free Tuesday! Who's with me?
We then went on to enter our final game of the tournament, overjoyed at the prospect of a free Tuesday. Sure, maybe I got downed immediately when the game started, maybe I got proxy camped, and maybe I got tunneled out of the game as soon as I was unhooked. But I didn't care. The cursed waffle was in full effect, but as long as I got a day off, I am the true winner. In celebration of our free Tuesday, EazySpeezy and Backseat all formed a conga line in the middle of Freddy's, and were all subsequently killed. The Toy Chicas may have won the battle, but they had lost the war.
You have to play Dead by Daylight and we don't!
And when we got pulled into the commentator's booth for an interview after our abysmal loss, we had to deliver the wonderful news.
Free Tuesday. Stay. Free Tuesday. Free Tuesday. Free Tuesday. We're not gonna be here tomorrow. We were focused on the free Monday. We ignored the free Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh my god, guys.
Of course, I also couldn't leave that commentator booth without one last request.
Hey Dawko, your team that you wanted to win, didn't win. Can you crash the stream again?
Hit the router. Hit the router.
We live, we love, we die. But in death, we will find a new love. The love of friendship and Tuesday. We may not have won today, but we will go on to win forever. Blessed be.
Oh my god. I don't have to play Dead by Daylight anymore. I don't have to play Dead by Daylight anymore! Yes! I'm free! Yes! Yes! With my newly acquired free Tuesday away from Dead by Daylight, I decided to go out with some friends and ended up having a beautiful T-bone steak. I'm convinced that steak was blessed too. My server's name ended up being Jesus, so he must be the reason why that thing tasted so good. And while we all enjoyed our free Tuesday, we got to watch misfortune and karma fall upon the two teams that had knocked us out of the tournament. Team 6am and the Toy Chicas. First up were the Toy Chicas, as after their killer player Cloudy decided to gloat in the commentator's booth after killing our Freddy's conga line, saying stuff like, "No mercy, this is our game now," they then proceeded to lose 16-23 in their very next game. But not just that. Team 6am, the Houndmaster team that knocked us out of winners, ended up facing off against Top Shelf in the final showdown, in which there were multiple killer games and survivor games for both teams to decide the winner. Even with Team 6am's killer, Vonnie, pivoting and switching to 3 different killers across 3 different games, and Team 6am overall having practiced for an ungodly amount of time just for a casual charity tournament, they still proceeded to lose by 1 single point at the very end. In conclusion, the team that ended up winning the entire event was none other than Top Shelf, which, yes, does mean that Mr. Wigglesworth diffed every team and went undefeated on his grandpa's old computer. What an absolute legend. Overall, this event was a wonderful experience to be a part of, and I cannot thank both David Barron and Postra for hosting and sending me an invite to the event. Even though me and my team only made it 4th in the event, I am still very grateful to have played alongside them. This is the first time I've ever been a part of a huge event like this, so just being able to hang out with a large number of creators was nothing short of incredible. Now, could we have made it further? Probably. If I didn't get grabbed through the wall by Houndmaster, I really think I could have performed a game-changing chase. And I think we would have fared infinitely better against the Toy Chicas if I subbed in for Killer again and played Artist. But to be honest, I don't need to dwell on the past and how we could have won, because we already achieved the greatest victory of all. A free Tuesday, and the ability to finally uninstall Dead by Daylight.